welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Adele. I'm a second year law student in Italy, in Palermo, Sicily, and yeah, welcome back. So exam season is coming up pretty soon, and I thought that it would be such a great opportunity to show you how I actually schedule my studying throughout the semester, and especially during finals. So first thing first, I thought I'd walk you through a little bit of how the Italian system works, because obviously it's going to be a little bit different from other countries. So basically our systems divide the school year into two semesters, which are the fall winter semester, which starts in September and ends in February, and then the summer semester, which starts in early March and ends in July. So we have lectures from September to, let's say, the 20th of December. I mean, I don't really know, it depends on the professor, honestly, and the faculty. Whatever, we don't have a proper winter break, because exams are actually after winter break, and they actually start in like mid-January, let's say, and they finish in end of February. So for example, for my business law exam, I can do it on the January 21st or February 4th or February 18th. And so basically, and it goes like this for all the subjects. So you actually have those 3 dates, and you can choose like whenever you actually want to try your exam. And so when I say exam season is coming up, I don't mean that like next week I have finals. I actually mean that lectures are finishing, and in January, February I have my exams. So let's see what I do to prepare for them. So basically what I want to say is that actually exam dates don't come out that early in the semester. So obviously, like, I knew my exam dates like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So obviously that's a very short notice if you think that for an exam you have to study like an 800 or 1,000-page book just for one exam. So obviously, like, it's a very short notice. That means that what I personally do is start studying straight away from the beginning of the semester. Like, that's honestly one thing that I cannot stress enough, like how important it is to actually be well prepared in advance. So when the semester starts, I actually look at the syllabus of my subjects, and I try and see like the workload, so the recommended readings, the required readings, and I actually try to divide them throughout the semester, because obviously, I mean, you're going to attend lectures, but at the end of the day you also have to study some things that the professor doesn't actually say, so you have to actually study the book. And so I divide the book throughout the entire semester so that I can start my revision like in December, early December or November. That's the thing. It's super important for me that I start studying straight away, and that I am constantly studying. Like, I'm studying every day from the beginning of the semester. That way I'm not stressed in exam season, or well, I am stressed because obviously it's exam season and I'm gonna get stressed even if I know everything perfectly. But I mean, I'm not as stressed as I could be if I didn't study in advance. So here's how I actually plan my study, like what tools I actually use to plan. So I actually use 3 methods for planning. I know that's crazy, but let me show you. I actually use 3 different planners. So most general one is Google Calendar on my iPad. So as you can see, like, I try to make a schedule for the week, which is super general. I don't insert like single subject that I'm going to be studying each day. I'm just gonna schedule like studying time and other appointments, which is super important for me to know like in advance what I'm gonna do throughout the week, not in terms of studying but in terms of like other things, so that I can schedule my studying around them. So obviously it should be the other way around. Like, I'm gonna make my studying a priority, but obviously there are gonna be other things, like for example my dentist appointment, or I don't know, drinks with a friend that you haven't seen in like 2 months. So obviously I want to know exactly like where to put those things, and so that I know like a week in advance how much studying I am going to be doing that week. Having like this planning method doesn't mean that you cannot be flexible, but I reduce flexibility to a minimum, meaning that I try to have like all the things that I need to do in front of me like a week in advance. Also, as you can see, I don't really schedule like buffer times or like I don't know, I don't schedule like lunches and stuff like that, because obviously I'm going to be flexible on that. I just say like whenever I need to study, and like whenever I have other really important things, like for example, like I don't know, the gym or a dentist appointment. So the other two planners that I use are, this is the academic planner by Ruby Granger, so by Pumping Productivity, but I find it like super useful for day-to-day planning. So this is a specific like academic planner, so obviously like it's all centered about studying and academia, and right on this like what I need to study, like in terms of subjects, in terms of pages, and like topics that I need to cover or revision and everything like that. And it's super useful for day-to-day planning. But what it doesn't do, and what I do in this planner instead, like also look at how pretty it is. This is like a normal notebook that like my mom gave me like a year ago. But here I actually don't use this as much as the other ones, but here I actually write like my just super general like studying plan. So not day to day, but like months by months. So like for example, I have a 800-page book that I need to finish for like I don't know, a certain subjects in December. Then I'm going to divide each page and I'm going to write like And so those are my 3 planning methods. I've been using those since high school. And I find it super useful. Other things that I also find are really the key to a great studying for final season. And another things that I think is really important is to schedule some time off from studying and actually not let like your hobbies down and stuff like that, because that's a mistake that I actually used to make a lot. Like I remember when I took graduation exam in high school, and also last year stopped going to the gym, for example, and locked up in my room like all day, every day, studying and revising, which is, I mean, obviously sometimes you gotta do that if you feel like you don't actually have the time to finish everything you need to do, but it's not healthy. And honestly, I think that it doesn't really work as much as we think it will. And honestly, I find it's like super doable, especially if you plan accordingly and you actually know when you're going to work out or when you're going to see your friend. And obviously don't let it affect your studying as much. I go to the gym at a time which is 7 p.m. most of the times, where I know that like after 6 p.m. I don't really am as much productive as I am in the morning. So obviously I might still study after dinner, of course, if I know that I need to, but I try to schedule the gym at a time where I know I'm not going to be productive anyway.